I really, truly will never forget. It's frightening. It was a frightening day. It's probably the scariest day of my life up to this point.
We knew that we were going to be going to war with somebody.
So we were just a bunch of kids, you know, playing around, and we thought something was happening that was bad, but we didn't really know what.
I did not know my cousin worked in the trade centers. I had no idea.
When it did happen, I still didn't comprehend like the whole complexity of the situation.
What's really captivating about the paper is not really the front news. Everybody had something similar to this, but it's the other stories in the actual paper. When you look at saying games are canceled, everything basically went on hold. All the professional games were called off, and flipping through, you can see how it affected. So a local woman on hijacked flight. It brings the reality of what happened, I guess, to the triad. The threat of terrorism has been in the world for a long time, but we haven't seen it, and I think this was a real eye-opener for Americans. And it's sad that it took this attack for this to happen, but looking back, we can see all of the positive changes that we can see. But I think America actually can see the world as it is, instead of our own views we'd like to see.
I think it made us stronger in some ways. I mean, I don't like everything that we've been doing in Iraq and some of the, you know, how we assume like all Arabs and Muslims are terrorists. But I think that it did kind of bring us together in a better way. I think it taught us that we're not invincible, but that doesn't mean we should give up fighting.
I think one of the biggest things is the fact that, you know, the situations that we're in now with war on terror being such a big part of everyday society. 9/11 most definitely had that effect, and 9/11 or exactly that effect. The second that the first plane, you know, flew into the tower, it was something that I feel people really start to understand that this is not, we're not in a perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world. This is a world in which things happen that are out of our control.
Like, when I think about my childhood, my memory, like, that's one of the big things for me. And it was like that, 9/11 was like the end of my childhood in a way. Like, that was it. Like, I mean, it's not like I had a bad childhood or anything, but like that marked pretty much the end.
From September 11th up until recently, I was in the Army. So looking at it from a military standpoint, it definitely did. We had to be more vigilant, and it was definitely a life-changing.
As for how it changed the world, it's, I think, a matter of people don't look at America the same, and people don't look at, you know, there's this big controversy with the mosque that's being built, that people want to build by the trade centers. I have no issue with it. And again, you know, of all people, I think the families of these victims are the ones that should be speaking out, which is part of the reason that, you know, I've decided to transform into being more open about it, because people need to understand that 9/11 is not something that a religion did, or that, you know, one whole race of people did. It was a group of people that had to make, you know, incredibly terrible decisions, but their decisions are ones that are affecting their whole entire race, and that's something which I don't believe in. I'm Jewish, and, you know, I have friends that are Muslim, I have friends that are Christian, I have friends that are, you know, all different religions, all different races, and the choices of a few should not be affecting how a whole entire race is treated. So, you know, in the long run, these group of people who decided to do this really ended up changing people's views on Arabs, people's views on Islam, on Muslim, because now you don't see someone as, you know, just an Arab, you see them as an Arab, and then you look at 9/11 and say Arabs also. You know, there are people that were from the Middle East who decided to commit these acts, and, you know, it casts a very bad shadow on a lot of the world who really don't deserve it.
I think it changed the way we saw other countries, and put more potential threats on the map for everybody. Like, if it happened here, it could happen anywhere.
If nothing like 9/11 had happened, I don't think security at airports would be quite as bad. I don't think we would have, I certainly don't think we would have gotten into this war that we're in. But I mean, I'm 20 now, half of my life has been post 9/11. It's kind of hard to think of what it'd be like without it.
I would have gotten to know my cousin. I never got to. I mean, when I was much younger, I don't even remember. There probably were family occasions in which, you know, I'd gotten to meet her, but I didn't get to meet her. So there's the negative aspect in the sense of I didn't get to meet her. I did not get to have that part of my life that I heard so much about, and it was so close yet so far. On the other hand, it changed America in the sense that people appreciate, I feel like people appreciate things much more nowadays.
We definitely wouldn't be as fearful. We wouldn't be as on edge as I think we are. I think a lot of the financial issues that we're going through right now, at least in the United States, definitely we wouldn't be having to deal with that, because a lot of the money that we've spent over the past decade have been towards the war. And even other countries, you know, have used a lot of money towards the war too. You know, it's hard to say that it'd be better, because what constitutes better? You know, things happen and we adapt towards them. So, but you know, it'd be a lot different.